Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Okay, pause. You ever do something so good that you regret it? Yeah, this is the story of how I became that kid. You know, the one with the cleanest notebooks, highest marks, zero social life, and the mental health of a soggy biscuit. Let's go way back to first grade, when I was just a tiny, innocent, overachieving gremlin. Now look, most kids at that age are learning how to color inside the lines. Meanwhile, I was out here writing full paragraphs, doing extra practice, and basically carrying the class like I was the group project leader of life. And the results? 98% marks. And guess what? The second topper had 90%, 8 whole percent behind me. I was like, you call that close competition? I call that a victory dance. Man dancing, chart increasing. Every year, I kept winning. First rank. Top kid. Teacher's favorite. My parents were out here like, this child is going to be a scientist, an astronaut, and the president. I was out here proving Newton's laws and still struggling to open lunchboxes. And then, 2020 happened. The great destroyer of routines. The pandemic. Suddenly it's no school, just glitchy Zoom calls. Teachers yelling, am I audible? 500 times. And my Wi-Fi out here doing hide and seek. Bro, it was chaos. I was sitting there in my pajamas, staring at worksheets like they were written in alien language. Guess what? My grades? Down. Straight up plummeted. From first place to third. My brain was like, you want me to study when I don't even know what day it is? The motivation? Gone. The schedule? Gone. Me? Just eating noodles at 2 a.m. and wondering if life is a dream. Then came sixth grade. I was like, enough. I'm going to bounce back. I set alarms. I organized my notes. I actually listened in class. And boom, 80 to 90% marks. I was climbing back, baby. People were clapping. Teachers were proud. My mom was showing my report card to random relatives like it was a trophy. Me? I was just happy I didn't forget how to multiply. But just when I thought my life was stabilizing, boom. Plot twist. Seventh grade. My school just shuts down. Like, bye, good luck. I had to shift to a completely new school. New building. New teachers. New classmates. New everything. And I was expected to adjust like, hi, I'm new. Let's all be besties. No, I was depressed. I walked in like a confused potato. But the craziest part? I didn't even try. I just existed and somehow ended up second in class again. I was like, did I sleepwalk my way to second place? Teachers were like, well done. And I'm like, ma'am, I was this close to crying over homework. It was like my brain had muscle memory for rank. And then came the biggest plot twist of my life. I got made the school vice-prefect. Not class monitor. Not hallway helper. Vice-prefect. And in my school, that meant 1 step below prefect and 2 steps below head boy/girl. Basically, I was 1 level away from owning the school. I was like, wow, look at me. A whole official. But what they didn't know is I was living a double life. When I was a vice prefect in 8th grade last year, I wasn't just that nerd kid with a polished notebook and yes ma'am energy. Nah, in front of teachers? Sure, pure angel. But the second they left, I'd switch gears faster than Bakugu gets mad. Backbencher. Class clown. That one kid who acts like a mini gang leader, but only for vibes. Never bullying, just being cool. I was that kid. School's law enforcement by day, undercover chaos agent by lunch break. But being vice prefect wasn't a flex for long. It was burnout in a uniform. I had to keep my books neat enough to make Google Docs jealous books. Help teachers like I was their unpaid TA broom. Check uniforms like I was at airport security t-shirt. Maintain discipline like I was building a military squadron vanguard. And still somehow study for exams. Open book. Bro, my daily schedule looked like a CPU running 76 tabs at once. First semester, I tried to do it all. Homework, did it in school. Notes, Updated like a Wikipedia editor. Sleep? What's that? Is it on the syllabus? Second semester? I said, you know what? Y'all want a vice-prefect? I'll give you a vice-prefect acting like one. I just fake smiled through the day, walked around with fake confidence, and waited for lunch like it was a reward from the gods. So yeah, I try to be perfect. I try to impress. I try to handle it all. And the truth is, I almost lost myself in the process. I went from loving school to low-key hating it. From being top tier to being just plain tired. The truth is, when you aim for perfection all the time, you stop enjoying the things you're good at. So now, I still try. I still care. But I also rest. I say no when I need to. And if someone doesn't like that I'm not a walking notebook robot, that's their problem. Anyway, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. If you relate, comment your flop era down below. Like this video if you've ever faked being fine. Subscribe before I get made head prefect and disappear into a pile of paperwork.